Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this webinar this afternoon. You're going to learn everything you need to know to become an enrolled agent. We have a 3-day boot camp that's going to be held in June, June 13th, 14th, June 11th, 12th, and 13th, which is a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I highly recommend you flying in on Monday. I'll go over that in more detail at the end of the webinar. Right now, I am going to introduce our dynamic team of expert instructors before we start. These are going to be your she and heroes in helping you become an EA. They're a dynamic team of people. I admire them all. One is my tax attorney, the best tax attorney in the US, Miss Josie. I'll introduce her in a minute. But we've all been in the tax industry over 10 years. And outside of Josie, who's a tax attorney, the other 3 instructors, including myself, we all did a very comprehensive training to represent taxpayers before the tax court. We took the exam to become a United States tax court practitioner. We haven't gotten those results back in yet. I don't know if I'm going to pass or not, but I received priceless education and training with the best of the best. So I got what I needed to get out of the program. I understand starting at the bottom, preparing the tax return, all the way to the top, negotiating with the IRS's attorneys, which you have the right to do, by the way, once you become an EA. And I'll talk about more of that at the end as well. So let me, like I said, I'm Melinda Talbert. I've been in the tax industry over 18 years. I absolutely love taxes. I am a tax geek. This is Mr. George Dandriff. He's a licensed enrolled agent as well. He's the owner of Elite and Tax Financial Services. He is going to be one of our instructors. And this is the amazing Josie Harris Walton. She is our tax attorney. You all are going to learn so much from her. I'm excited. I'm finally sharing her with the world. I've learned so much from her. I love her dearly. That's my tax attorney, Miss Josie Walton, Josie Harris Walton. Our other instructor is Miss Lysandra Everett. She's a licensed enrolled agent as well. She is known as the home biz tax lady. Like I said in the beginning, we're all seasoned professionals. We're excited to share our wealth of knowledge, our insider tips that we have, because we are in the field doing the work. We're not just teaching it, we're doing it. And we have a lot of industry insights that can help you pass the EA exam and elevate your career. So we're going to jump right into the info session part. Can everybody see my screen and hear me good before I start?
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Okay. If I pause, please forgive me. I just came back from a vacation where I did a whole lot of laughing and yelling, so I'm a little bit hoarse this morning. Okay, so today we're gonna go over what is an EA. I'm gonna talk about who qualifies, what the exam covers, the session dates, which haven't been released yet. It'll be after this session that's about to be over next week. We'll talk about the exam fees, the testing centers, the registration, the scheduling, the payments, how the exam is scored, and what you need to do to retest any event you don't pass the first go round. Okay, what is an EA? Everybody hear EA, but a lot of people don't understand exactly what an EA does, and what we are licensed to do. An enrolled agent is the highest credential the IRS awards. I don't know where the word certified tax professional came from, but it does not exist. So if you see somebody say that they're a certified tax professional, or if you're a tax professional using the word certified, please stop it before somebody reports you to the Office of Responsibility. You must pass all three parts of the SEE exam, and the SEE is a special enrollment examination. So when you register in Prometric, you don't have to type it out. Just look for the SEE exam, and it's going to prompt you to the correct exam. You also have to pass a suitability check. That includes tax compliance. Make sure that all your tax returns are filed and up to date. Make sure you don't have any tax liabilities. If you do, that will not disqualify you. If you have a balance, just make sure that you're in a payment plan, at least while they do the suitability check, because if you're not, your application might get denied. You also have to undergo a criminal background, and I'll go over that in detail in a minute. Individuals who obtain this elite status must adhere to ethical standards. We have to complete 72 hours of continuing education every 3 years. So it's not 72 hours per year. You have 3 years to complete those 72 hours. Enrolled agents have the same rights as attorneys and CPAs. We have unlimited practice rights, and we're able to practice before the IRS, and there isn't any limitations on it. If you haven't already, I highly recommend that you set up your Prometric account and get you a P10 number. Set you a P10 account up and get a P10 number. The fee to renew or obtain a P10 for the 2024 tax year is $19.75. Your Prometric account is free. You must have a valid government issue ID, a driver's license, a passport, or a military identification card to be able to test. So make sure you have all of that information because you're going to need it. Suitability includes the criminal conviction check. A frequently asked question about the criminal conviction is, what types of criminal convictions would negatively impact me from becoming an enrolled agent? In short, any criminal offense where you were convicted, where you received a felony conviction. And it has to be less than 10 years. I don't know if you had if you were received a felony conviction over 10 years. I don't know if you will still qualify or not. I've listed a phone number on the slide that you can call. Ask these questions and find out all of this information before you invest money and time into passing this exam. Make sure that nothing on your record is going to prevent you from becoming licensed. The phone number is 855-472-5540. They can answer any questions that you might have regarding the criminal convictions and any other questions that you have about the exam. Circular 230 is also a really good resource for you to use. Check out section 10.5D1 and 10.51 for a more detailed explanation about the suitability check. This is Action Jackson. Action Jackson, if you decide to join us in Vegas, you're going to meet Action Jackson, and Action Jackson will be sending you items that you need to do prior to taking your exam and prior to attending the live event in Vegas. The first thing that Action Jackson needs you to do today is uh, register for your Prometric account. For my assistant Ford is going to drop in the link for you to register. If you don't already have a Prometric account, go ahead and register. It's free. You also need to get a P10. If you don't already have a P10, it only costs $19.75. So make sure that you go ahead and get your P10 because you're going to need both to be able to take the exam. Let me get some of my tea. Okay, the Prometric account is free, but once you get in and register, you will be able to pay for the exam. Do not schedule an exam yet, please. I know you're probably excited. I'm excited for you. I understand your excitement. I registered when my instructor told me not to register. I registered because the testing center where I live, it stayed booked up a lot. So I figured if I registered like months out in advance, I'll be ready to take part two. I wasn't ready to take it yet. And that $206 is per exam and it's non-refundable. You cannot get your money back. So wait for me or one of my instructors give you the green light to register. If you are taking practice exams, you're not ready to test until you're making at least, I would say, a 75. If you're not making a 75 yet on your practice exams that we're going to go over with you, you will have unlimited exams. But until you receive between a 70 and 75, you're not ready to take it yet. So go out and register, but don't schedule anything. This is a really good visual of the difference between an enrolled agent, CPA, attorney, and a tax preparer. So an enrolled agent is the only person that is licensed by the federal government. An enrolled agent is the only one that must pass a comprehensive tax exam. Enrolled agents have the same full representation rights as a CPA and an attorney. And a enrolled agent is the only one that specializes in taxes unless they're a tax attorney, and like Josie. Josie is a tax attorney, so taxes is her specialty. Okay, let's talk about the exam. The exam is 3.5 hours. However, there will be an additional 30 minutes, and that is for the pre-exam tutorial and the post-exam customer satisfaction survey. There's no way around that survey at the end. I've tried, trust me, you got to go through it. I was so excited to see whether I passed or failed. I was trying to skip over it, but you can't skip over it. You have to go through the pre-tutorial and the post-customer satisfaction survey. And like I stated earlier, you must have a valid ID, and it has to be government issued. That includes the driver's license, the state issue ID. It could be a military ID, or it can be a passport. It has to be government issued. So when you schedule the exam, it's going to say it's 4 hours, but remember, it's only 3.5 hours. That additional 30 minutes is for the pre and post survey. Do we have any questions yet before I move forward? No questions yet? Okay. That means I'm doing good. No questions yet. The examination is a 3-part exam. Each part has 100 multiple choice questions. There are only 85 questions that will actually be scored, and the other 15 are just experimental questions and they're not scored. We do not know which questions are scored. That's why you need to carefully read every question, read the choices carefully, all of them, and answer all the questions to the best of your knowledge, because we don't know which ones aren't scored. The length of the exams is, like I stated earlier, is 3.5 hours. You can only take the test 4 times a year. This is another reason why you do not need to schedule an exam right now if you're not ready. If you take part 1, part 2, or part 3 4 times in 1 year, you will not be able to test again. You're gonna have to wait until the following year to take the exam. So that's why it's important to not schedule and take it until you're ready. Don't try to go and take it saying that you just want to see what it's like. Don't do that. You got plenty opportunity to see what it's like on the unlimited practice exams that you're gonna receive from us in a online platform. For the current exam, I'll go over what was covered. Is about to close. The current exam cycle is about to close next week on February 29th. The reference materials that were covered on this exam was the Internal Revenue Code, the Code of Federal Regulations, the IRS forms and instructions, the IRS publications, the American Rescue Plan Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the Further Consolidated Appropriations Act, the CARES Act. Everybody familiar with the CARES Act with the PPP loan, and the Secure 2.0 Act. You would have had to know all of this to pass this testing cycle. Some people have been asking, what can they do to start studying right now? I don't suggest you start studying yet because the new materials have not been released yet. We don't even know what all is going to be covered on the next exam cycle yet. So hold your mule. If you really want to start doing something, start reading the Internal Revenue Code. That's about the only thing that I can promise you is not going to change unless there are some amendments done, but it won't be a whole lot where you can't go in and make those adjustments where you need to. But the rest of this stuff, I don't suggest you studying it because we don't know if it's going to be a part of the next exam. Okay, this is Action Jackson. He's surfing, strolling and swerving and surfing right now. Action Jackson is on part 1 because part 1 is said to be the second easiest part on the exam. I got through part 1 through a breeze because it was easy. It was all on individual. I've been in the tax industry for a very long time, so a lot of the stuff that I tested on, I kind of already knew. Only in part 1 though. Part 2, that's a whole nother animal. Part 1 is 100 questions, only 85 are scored. Remember that. There's 14 questions on preliminary work and taxpayer data. There's 17 questions on income and assets. There are 17 questions on deductions and credits, 15 questions on taxation, 11 questions on advising the individual taxpayer, and 11 more questions on specialized returns for individuals. This is a very tiny snippet of everything you're going to have to learn to pass part one. You're going to have to know about the preliminary work, sources of worldwide taxable income, income and assets, dividends, personal property, gambling, retirement. It's a lot that you're going to have to learn. I think everything was a breeze for me except retirement accounts. I had to do some additional studying because I didn't do a whole lot of those returns. But outside of that, I think part one is going to be a breeze for everybody. Part two, this is the business part. This is said to be the most challenging part for everyone. I guess it depends on if you do a whole lot of corporation returns or not. There's 30 questions on business entities and considerations. There's 37 questions on business tax preparation and 18 questions on specialized returns and taxpayers. This is a very small snippet of what you're going to have to learn to pass part two. You're going to have to know all about the business income, the gross receipts, the business expenses, depreciation, business bad debt, analysis of financial records, specialized returns such as trusts and distributions, worker classification. Part two is challenging. So I recommend you come to the boot camp most definitely because we're going to spend most of our time on part two. And the last part is part three. Part three is representation. There's 100 questions, only 85 will be scored. This is my favorite part. This is also said to be the easiest part of the exam. It was the easiest part for me because I was already doing representation work. I was working with different tax attorneys doing representation and assisting them on their cases. There's 26 questions on practices and procedures. There are 25 questions on representation before the IRS, and there's 20 questions on specific areas of representation and 14 questions on the filing process. This is a snippet of what you're going to need to know to pass part three. You're going to need to know about practicing before the IRS, the requirements for enrolled agents. You're definitely going to need to know about penalties, abatements, installment agreement, all that good stuff. You're also going to need to know about the power of attorney, but everything that you need to know on all three parts, you're going to learn at the boot camp. The questions on your exam are all multiple choice questions. There are no longer true and false questions on the exam anymore. No one gets the same exam. I don't care how many times you go back and retake that exam, it's not going to be the same exam. There are three different multiple choice format. The first format is direct question, and a direct question, an example is, which of the following entities are required to file Form 709 United States gift tax return? And you just answer A, B, C, or D. That's what you call a direct question. The second example is an incomplete sentence. Supplemental wages are compensation paid in addition to an employee's regular wages. And it's asking, they do not include payments for blank. So that's an incomplete sentence format. The third format is all of the following except. And this is one of the ones where you're going to have to really read and pay attention to those keywords. The example on this one is there are 5 tests which must be met for a child to be a qualifying child. Which of the following is not a requirement? Not is a key word here. Some people read too fast, read the question too fast, and they answered the wrong answer. It's not asking for them all, it's asking which one is not the requirement. But we'll go over how to read, we'll go over process elimination, we'll go over mnemonics, we'll go over everything you need to know to help you answer the questions correctly. On test day, it includes one 15-minute break. You'll receive it's a closed book exam, so you can't use any study material. All the tests are held at a Prometric testing center, so you can't take the test at home, and you can't go to another testing center. It has to be a Prometric testing center, and that's why you have to register for the test on Prometric's website. They're going to give you a on-screen calculator during the examination, and you'll also receive a handheld calculator, scratch paper and pencil, and like I said, you're going to receive a 15-minute break. Now, the exam clock stops after you've answered the first 50 questions. After you submit that first section, you no longer are able to go back to view those questions. I'm kind of glad that it wasn't that way when we tested. When we tested, we were able to view the entire part before we submitted it, but now they have it broken up in sections. You are not required to take that break. If you want to keep going, you can keep going. But if you need to get up and stretch or use the restroom outside of that assigned break, the clock is going to keep ticking. So even if you don't have to go, just get up and stretch. Musa, stretch your legs, walk around a little bit outside of the testing center. I don't think you're able to go outside. I'm not sure. I didn't go outside because I didn't want a chance me being disqualified, but I did walk around outside the testing center door. So keep that in mind that you don't have to take the break, but I highly recommend you doing so. Any questions yet? Okay. Something else new that we weren't able to do that I learned about is you all can take a bottle of water into the test center. We weren't able to do that. So if you want to take a bottle of water in, you can. Now, when you get to the test center, before they allow you to go in the actual testing room, it's going to feel like you going through airport security. I'm not joking. They have you stretch your legs, stretch your arms. They have a metal detector. It's a wand, but they search your whole body with a wand metal detector. I, for the life of me, still don't understand what they're gonna find with a metal detector outside of the metal that's in my bra. Because if somebody is going to cheat, they're not gonna write it on metal. They're gonna write it on a piece of paper. And I don't think metal detectors can detect paper. I don't know. I've never tried it. I'm not a cheater. So I just want you to be aware that it's not just where you are. All testing centers does the metal detector check. Hats and coats are not permitted. So if what's up under your hat is shameful, make sure that you do something with it before you go to test, because you cannot keep it on. You have to take the hat off. Big coats, I know they don't allow big coats, but if you are if you the type of person like me that always stay cold, they will allow you to take a sweater, a light sweater in, or a light jacket, but you can't take it off. So you have to make the decision if you want to keep it on. If you think you're gonna get hot, don't put it on at all, because you won't be able to take it off. You are monitored by video, so don't try anything crazy. Don't try talking to nobody. Don't do anything that will get you disqualified, because you are being monitored the entire time that you're there. You must sign in and out. each time you raise your hand and ask for permission to leave the room, you have to sign out. And I do know for a fact, if you sign out too many times, they probably think that you're cheating, and they have to report that. So be mindful of how many times you leave the testing center. If you have a bladder issue and you're just a person that has to go to the bathroom a lot, I would make them aware of that before I even get to the testing center. That way they're aware that you probably are going to sign in and out more than the average would. Okay, scoring. So a passing score is a 105. The scale scores are determined by calculating the number of questions that you answered correctly from the total number of questions that's on the examination. They convert it to a scale that ranges from 40 to 130. And as long as you make a 105, you'll pass. If you fail, you'll receive it's called the diagnostic information report. And it'll help you with your future studies because it's going to show you indicators 1, 2, and 3. If you get an indicator 1, that means that you are really weak in that area and you might need to take some additional study prep courses, which is again, the boot camp will help you with that. But it's also going to show you, it's going to break down your weak areas in subsections. So I think that's a really good thing that they provide you with. If you receive a 2 indicator, that means that you may need a little bit more studying in a particular area. If you receive a 3 means that you clearly demonstrated that you fully understand this part of the section, and you probably don't need to spend additional time studying in that area in particular. Focus on areas 1 and 2 if you fail. Also, if you fail, you have to wait a minimum of 24 hours to reschedule. And I know because I did it. I failed I failed part 2 the first time by 1 point. So when I say that, read those questions to the T, read all answers, read everything because you can fail by 1 point, and I'll show you what happened to me in a minute. So just know that if you fail, you got to wait 24 hours to reschedule. If you received a 1 on any of the areas when you failed, I don't recommend you rescheduling it within 24 hours. I recommend you focusing on that area and continue taking those unlimited practice exams until you score a 75 or above in that particular area. These are my test scores for part 2. Remember when I told you you have to score a 105 to pass? Well, I received a 104 and I was disgusted. This was right after COVID. Well, it was still during COVID, but it was in 2021. So the IRS made lots of changes to the testing rules and the prometric testing centers. There was a lot of changes made, and I was caught up in those changes. One of the changes was they found a different kind of way to score the test. So if you took a test the summer of 2021, you weren't given your scores that day. We had to wait until the end of August to receive our test scores. So I had to continue studying the entire summer because I didn't want to lose what I had in case I had to take it again. Sure enough, I received my test score and it was a 104. I was disgusted. I waited before I took it again because I wanted to make sure that all of my areas were strong and I did not want to chance having to retest for a second time. So I finally passed on September 7th. I'll never forget that day. I finally passed, and becoming an enrolled agent, when I tell you, like, it's number one, it was a dream come true for me because it's something that I worked on for a long time and it's something that I really wanted. I got frustrated with preparing taxes. It wasn't even a passion for me anymore to do tax preparation. So I had to cancel my hot girl summer, and you're gonna have to cancel your hot girl summer too, or your hot boy summer. You're gonna have to cancel your summer, and if you're really serious about passing this exam, it's going to take some studying and a lot of commitment on your part. So, that is all I have for the first portion of the webinar. The first portion was kind of dedicated to everything you need to know to be able to take the test. This next portion that we're about to go in, we're going to talk about the EA boot camp that's being held in Vegas. And we're going to go in a little bit more details about what's all covered with the boot camp. Do we have any questions before I move forward? No questions? Okay. So, like I stated earlier, we are having a 3-day live boot camp in Las Vegas. We are going to walk you through how to answer the questions, and we're going to teach you everything you need to know to pass the exam. This is me. Again, I'm Melinda Tolbert. I've been in the tax industry over 18 years, and I am one of your EA Bootcamp instructors. I am going to be presenting in part one. I'm going to talk about income. I'm going to teach you all about wages, salaries, special rules for employees, interest income, dividends, Social Security benefits, rental income, all that good stuff. We're going to have some fun. I have my Ebonic version that I'm going to use to make sure that everybody can understand it. I want to make it easy to understand for you. I'm also going to teach the taxes portion. You're going to learn about the tax calculations, the AMT tax, net investment income, self-employment tax, kitty tax, business and income loss, everything dealing with taxes. I am going to cover that section. I'm also going to cover in part one the filing considerations and the specialized returns. The specialized returns can be a bit challenging if you don't prepare estate tax returns, gift tax returns, and final tax returns. So we'll have some fun learning all about that in part one. Part two, I'm going to teach the business property portion. You're going to learn about the property types, depreciation. I love depreciation. Basis of property. I didn't like basis, but after I started studying for the EA exam, I fell in love with basis. It was a lot that I did not know about basis. So we'll have fun with basis. Basis is going to be a good part of the test, and you're going to have to know and understand how to do those math calculations. I love math, and I think that's why I really love depreciation and basis. We're going to talk about the like-kind exchanges of real property. The specialized returns is the income, the estate income tax, the farmers, the exempt organizations, and the rental property. And for part three, which is my favorite part, I'm going to teach representation before the IRS. We'll talk about third-party authorizations, the examinations and appeals process, the taxpayer penalties and interest, and I'm going to go over the collection process, including the roadmap. That is very fun. Our other instructor, George, is George on? I don't think he was able to join us, but George is another one of our EA instructors, and He's going to go over in part one, he's going to go over the taxpayer independence, the income exclusions, the adjustments to income, and the deductions from adjusted gross income. So all of those are real important parts in part one. In part two, he's going to go over business taxation. And part three, he's going to go over practice before the IRS. Our next EA instructor is Mrs. Josie Harris Walton, our tax attorney. Josie, do you want to cover what you're going over, or are you unavailable? I think she is unavailable. Okay. All right. So she's going to go over in part one. She's going to go over all the credits. She has she's known for the due diligence requirements. So that's going to be a plus plus. She's going to go over that with you all. She also has a workbook for tax professionals, solely for due diligence. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. In part two, Mrs. Walton is going to go over business entities. I highly recommend, if you aren't as knowledgeable as you should be with business entities, I recommend you learning it from an attorney. I'm just going to be real honest with you, because there are some legalities dealing with business entities that a regular tax professional won't be aware of. So she's going to go over business entities for part two, and part three, she's going to go over preparing returns and, of course, the tax law. Tax law, we're going to have fun with the tax court system. Our last instructor is Miss Lysandra Everett. She's known for as the home biz tax lady. She's going to go over in part one, gains and losses. In part two, this is going to be one of our biggest sections of the boot camp. We're going to spend a lot of time on corporations and partnerships, because it's a big part of part two, and you really need to understand the differences between all the business entities. So she's going to go over corporations. She's going to go over partnerships. You're going to learn corporations and partnerships inside out. And she's going to go over retirement plans. Now, part one and part two sometimes overlap, such as with the retirement plans. I'm going to go over, I think it's me that's going over retirement plans in part one, but retirement plans in part two is solely for businesses. So it's different. So don't think that we are duplicating any sections or any portions of the boot camp. Some stuff that's in part one, we're going to have to go over in part two as well. It's just for the business. Now, you need to stay away from the Irish twins. Vegas they are up all night. It's the city that never sleeps. I'm in Vegas at least a minimum of 4 times a year. If I'm not there on business, I'm there because I like to gamble. So I'm not going to no shore to Alabama to play no slots machines. I'm going to get on me a flight and I'm going to Vegas. Don't get with the Irish twins. When you leave the boot camp, don't get with the Irish twins. I need you studying for this exam. We are going to work extra hard to help you all pass this exam, number one, because you all are our first group, and we want a really high passing rate for our first group on this first go round in Vegas. So I need everybody, if you sign up, I need you to make a commitment to stay away from those damn Irish twins. And I need you to cancel your hot girl and your hot boy summer. If you want to stay in Vegas after the boot camp, that's when you get with the Irish twins. Don't be up all night Tuesday or Wednesday or Monday. When you get there Monday, go find you something good to eat, go to the pool, go to the spa, do something light. Don't go partying. Please don't go partying. It doesn't matter what day of the week it is in Vegas, it goes down. So stay away from the Irish twins and don't say I didn't warn you. The boot camp is going to be held at one of the largest resorts in Vegas, the Aria Resort. It's on it's actually on the Las Vegas Strip. The dates are confirmed. The dates are June 11th, 12th, and 13th. I highly recommend you flying in on the 10th. If you don't fly in on the 10th and you try to get there on the 11th, you're gonna miss some stuff, if not the full day. You have to take into consideration that sometimes flights get delayed and sometimes flights even get canceled. Trust me, you do not want to be in that predicament. Day one is going to be one of our most important days. So please don't miss day one. Fly on in on the 10th. Pay for that extra night. If you register by a deadline that I'm going to send out in our private Facebook group after you register, you will receive discounted hotel rates. So don't, if you know you're coming, don't go out right now and reserve rooms because we're going to have discounted room rates. So hold off on that. We are expecting to sell out. The room that we're going to be in only holds up to 80 people. So we're going to have to stop accepting registrations once we get to that 80th person. So if you really want to come, I highly recommend you going ahead and registering today. I'll go over the early bird special in a minute. Classes will be held Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I know some people aren't morning people. I want you to be rejuvenated when you get there and ready to learn. These days are going to be very long. It's going to be a lot for you to learn in a short amount of time. That's why I need you at your best, and I need you to stay away from those damn Irish twins. Okay? To make most of our time, we are going to have orientation prior to the live boot camp in Vegas. We're going to have the orientation is going to be held virtually. I just want to make sure that we don't have to rush through any of the parts in Vegas. And I want to make sure that you all have time to do practice tests with us live and answer whatever questions you need to ask. And I want to be able to have enough time to go over what sections that you didn't quite get. I want to have the opportunity, me and all of my instructors, if you didn't get it, we want to be able to revisit it and help you until you get it. Lunch will be provided. I know lunch is going to be provided on the first day. I'm not sure about the second day. I'll have further details on that in our private Facebook group. I'm actually going to Vegas tomorrow morning to finalize everything and to make sure that the room is up to my expectations because I'm a little bougie and I like stuff to be right. And sometimes you just have to go and put your eyes on stuff to make sure it's right. And I also was selected to host a few shows in Las Vegas talking about what I love, taxes. So I'll be doing that over throughout the rest of this week. This is the rooms. Top left is the basic rooms. There's nothing basic about Aria rooms. Trust me, that's their standard room. Top left, all of their rooms have really nice views and floor to ceiling windows. Top right are the suites. That's normally what I stay in when I go to Vegas, just because when I do go, it's normally a long period of time, maybe 4 or 5 days. and I like to be comfortable. Bottom right is really why I like the suite because that's their bathroom. That bathroom it has breathtaking views. I enjoy that bathroom a lot every year. And bottom left, that's their spa. Aria has a really nice spa. I don't know if it's still the biggest because a new hotel just opened in Vegas, and I've heard that their spa is bigger than Aria, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. We partnered with the best company to offer the study materials. I like Fast Forward Academy. Fast Forward Academy is what I used in addition to the live training that I received. I like them because their materials were very easy to read and easy to understand. Some people like other materials better. Do what works for you. As for me, I like Fast Forward, and I'm gonna play a video so you can kind of see what their platform is like and how amazing it is.
Prepare to pass the special enrollment examination with expert instruction, powerful technology, and unparalleled support. Our EA review course combines decades of real-world teaching experience with an innovative learning platform that saves you time. It includes everything you need to pass on the first try, and it's desktop, mobile, and tablet friendly, so you can study from anywhere using just your web browser. We've invested millions of dollars and thousands of hours of development to help you succeed. Sounds great, right? But how does it work? Start by mastering the essentials with our best-selling EA study guide, over 10 hours of engaging, instructor-led video, and thousands of study questions. That may sound a bit overwhelming, but don't worry. We break up the material into smaller, easy-to-comprehend lessons, focusing only on the concepts you need to know to pass. The course is organized by topic, using the latest IRS exam specifications. Read your textbook, watch the related lectures, and test your understanding by answering questions. With the convenient side-by-side design of our platform, the information you need is always within reach. We've connected your textbooks, lectures, study questions, and other resources to create a highly efficient, streamlined learning experience. Want more information? You won't have to stop what you're doing to go find it. Instead, we bring it right to you, so you spend less time searching and more time studying. Need to remember something important? You can easily highlight information and take notes right in your textbook. You can even sort your notes by color. Then, with just a click, turn them into a personalized deck of flashcards that you can drill on the go. Dive deeper into the specific areas that give you trouble with concise video lessons. The corresponding slides for each video ensure that you don't miss any of the important points.
The filing of the tax return. An individual tax return is due on or about the 15th day of the fourth month after the tax year.
Each study question includes a detailed explanation that helps you understand the correct answer and reinforces the materials for increased comprehension and retention. But what happens if you need help with a difficult topic or question? Just ask. Connect with subject matter experts and other students in the online community from anywhere in the course and get the answers you need when you need them. Nobody else makes it this easy to get help. Our unique opportunities target is a clear visual indicator of your progress. It's powered by a sophisticated algorithm that uses your performance and your confidence level in each topic. Tracking your confidence reduces the effects of guessing and allows us to make accurate recommendations on where to invest your time. No other course is this precise.
So as you can see, their platform is amazing. It's a great study tool to use. It comes with unlimited practice exams, quizzes. It also, what I really love about it is if you get an answer wrong and you don't understand why, as you saw on the screen, they'll provide an explanation to help you understand why you got it wrong and why it's right. So that's what I really love about their platform. Their cost for their materials is $629. If you sign up for the boot camp, it's all included. So keep that in mind.
Prepare.
What's included in the boot camp? Along with the amazing instructors of enrolled agents and tax attorney, you're gonna receive a actual study guide book. The book is available as an ebook, but I highly recommend you getting a hardcover book because you're going to be doing a lot of studying, even on the go. I had my book with me everywhere. When people saw me, the events that I did attend, they knew to excuse me at some parts of the event because I had to get my study time in. That's just how serious it was for me. You'll have access to over 100 video lectures. Their video lectures are good. I wouldn't use it for a soul study tool because a lot of it is only like 3 to 4 minutes. So I highly suggest you finding a live study, a test prep study group. It also comes with over 3,000 test questions with detailed explanations. And you have unlimited practices, EA practice exams that you can take. And that is those tests that I was talking about earlier. You'll know when you're ready to take the exam when you start scoring a 70 and above on these practice exams. The platform also is mobile friendly, phone, mobile and tablet friendly. They have instructor support. They have integrated IRS forms and publications, and they even have digital flashcards that are really great. You're going to get your licensed instructors. We'll provide you with cheat sheets, mnemonics. I'll talk about mnemonics in the during the orientation at the on the Facebook group. We're going to do a live Jeopardy. Live Jeopardy is going to be so much fun, and it's going to help you learn, but having fun learning. You'll also have access to our private Facebook group. If you don't have a study buddy, like I didn't have a study buddy, actually, I'm the type of person that once I get what I need, I like to study alone during crunch time. So, for instance, with my tax court exam, I was in multiple study groups, but like that last month, I kind of wanted to study alone. So if you don't have a study buddy, you'll have access to our private Facebook group where you can find a study buddy. We're also doing a cram course in December for $599. If you attend the boot camp, that will be available to you at no charge because everybody needs that cram session right before they go and take the test. If you are a business owner, if you own a tax company and you want to enroll your employees, your staff, we do have discounted group rates. See me after the webinar and I'll give you those rates. It depends on how many people you have on your team. Today only. This is it. If you register today, if you pay for the boot camp today, we have a early bird special. It's buy one, get one $500 off. And that's only available. No, I think what's today's date? It expires tomorrow at midnight. So the BOGO deal expires tomorrow at midnight, and we have $200 off for people that don't have anyone to register with them. We still have a $200 off special available for you. The total cost for the boot camp is $19.95. And if you can't afford that for whatever reason, but you want to attend, we will allow you to make 3 payments of $695. It says 700 right here, but it's $695. So recap of the boot camp, early bird discount. The deadline is February 21st, tomorrow at midnight. You'll get your discounted group rate for 5 or more. You also get a discounted hotel rate. You can join our EA cram course at no charge in December. It's all business. This boot camp is all business. So everything you do, everything you pay for, it's a tax write-off, including the boot camp itself. That's a tax write-off. Your hotel is a tax write-off. Your flight is a tax write-off. Your food is a tax write-off. Y'all tax professionals, y'all know it's all right. It's write it off. You either gonna give it to Uncle Sam or you're gonna invest it in your career. And I highly recommend that you invest it in your career. So the BOGO deal, again, $500 off. So it's buy one, get one, $500 off. Oh, we only have 10 more of those left. So after 10 more people register with that deal, it's going to be all gone. So if you plan on attending and you want that good discount, I highly recommend you getting it before tomorrow when it expires. Or when we get to the 10th person, it's going to be taken away. So the total investment without any of the discounts will be $19.95. If you're sure that you want to join for it, we'll drop the links in the chat box. One of the links is for the $200 off, the buy one, get one deal, and the 3 payments. All 3 of those links should be in the Dropbox. Do we have any questions yet? Okay, now I wanted to show you this because for some people, $2,000 is a lot for a course. For me, $2,000 is like $2. That didn't happen for me until I became an enrolled agent. This is a screenshot of some of my paid invoices in QuickBooks. Where you see this arrow pointing, this is real. From one client, paid upfront $103,000. One client. One client. So if somebody is offering to help me pass an exam that can help me make 6 figures off of one client, it's a no-brainer for me. My mastermind, I'm in a mastermind and it helps me thrive. My mastermind is $25,000. So when I hear somebody say that they want to elevate their career, but they're complaining about paying $2,000 for a course, you ain't ready. You're not ready. If you are ready to make these kind of fees, I don't have you can't pay me nothing to go back to preparing taxes. You know how many tax returns I would have had to prepare? Corporation returns. I would have had to prepare to get that fee. I ain't have to worry about my clients worrying me. I don't have to worry about them asking me for no refund date. I don't have to worry about them accusing me of stealing a $2 state check. I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. So when I say becoming an enrolled agent is a whole nother world, this is what I mean. And I don't normally share this kind of information with people that I don't know, but I need y'all to see that it's real. It's millions of collection cases out there right now. The IRS has started back sending those collection notices. So our phones are ringing non-stop. We all can make a lot of money in resolution because you have to be licensed. Where I live, there's over 700 tax preparers, but there's less than 20 enrolled agents. I'm the only enrolled agent locally that does tax resolution. And people still asking me, why don't you prepare taxes anymore? Who? Y'all can have that. No, thank you. I want no parts of it. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you all to see how amazing your life can be and how life-changing just becoming a licensed EA has been for me. I'm not doing it to brag. I'm doing it to inspire you to become an enrolled agent. Even if you don't come to our boot camp, go somewhere. Don't try to study it on your own because sometimes you lose motivation trying to do stuff like that on your own. And time just passed you by when you could have been came to the boot camp, joined our private Facebook group, and had help to continue to motivate you to pass that exam. You need that in your life. You really need to be surrounded by people that are doing the same thing you're doing as far as becoming an enrolled agent. I didn't have that, and I didn't have anybody around me that really understood why I canceled my hot girl summer and why I became so dedicated in studying. Nobody understood it. And I I lost my motivation a lot, but I had to continue to push myself. And once those coins started coming in, it was on from there. So, do we have any more questions? It is after 1 o'clock. I plan to be done with talking by 1 and just answering questions. I'm looking at the chat. Fort has all of the links for those that are ready to register today. Let me stop.
We do have one question. They're coming in now. It's
Okay.
from Ebony, how much is the Vegas trip?
When you say how much is the Vegas trip, what are you speaking of? Are you speaking of the hotels, the flights, or the boot camp? Ebony. The
It's
boot
from
camp.
the Mhm.
Okay. So the boot camp, we have 3 early bird specials. Well, actually, yeah, we have 3 early bird specials. If you register today and you have someone that register with you, you can get the BOGO early bird special. Buy one, get one $500 off. So the total cost is $19.95. If 2 of you register at the same time, you can get the $500 off. If you don't have anyone to register with you, you can just get the $200 off the full price. If you really want to attend and you don't have all the money up front today, you can take advantage of the 3 payments of $695. Did that answer your question?
That's a yes, MJ. And then we have another question in the chat as well.
Okay.
Will the replay be sent out to everyone?
Yes, you'll receive a replay and a guide on becoming an EA. Fort, drop that link. Look in the chat, and everything that I covered today, I created a becoming an EA study guide with all the information in it. So I'll send you the study guide and I'll send you the replay of the video. Just make sure we have your correct email address on file. Latoya. You are welcome. Stop the recording.